Hello and welcome to the KSW Painting Euro V8 Supercars series here live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Marco Barbanet with Sam Kumo on the cameras. We're here at Okayama, the short layout for 3 races today, about 20 minutes in length each. Just completing the qualifying session now, and Marco, we saw an awesome race at Silverstone last time out. We saw such great battles, so many competitive drivers, so many drivers fighting for the race victories. And today we've got a couple more drivers as well. Just looking at the standings, George McClay currently on pole position. Michael Cracknell also looking strong. You know, we've got 10, 11 cars who could realistically win a race out there. It's so brilliant.
Absolutely, it's going to be amazing. 3 races in this very short layout. Just before we get into the proper qualifying, a quick look at the standings for the championship, with Tony Klusterman leading by 10 points over Johnny Brandon. Then there's Dominic Sawicki, Jimmy McKnight, Domen Gunter, Michael Taliancic, Chris Jackson, Michael Evdoka, Nicole Foggy, and Ant Woodward round up the top 10 of the drivers on your screen right now. This is the overall championship, the club championship, the yellow banners. Ant Woodward is leading over Jose Borges, Clyde Whiting, Peter Bingham, Richard Wormingham, Michael Frost, and Bill Switzer, of course, with just 1 round in the book. The gaps are absolutely minimal between these drivers. And today, Sam, we are having a triple header on a very short track. It's going to be super busy. It's going to be very easy to end up 1 lap down. And we know that in order to be eligible for the reverse, you have to stay on the lead lap. So qualifying, of course, for race 1 will be crucial, and of course will be very important to stay out of trouble, because drama in one race can lead to a bad starting position in the next one. So it's going to be fun, and I like that it is a completely different scenario from what we had 2 weeks ago in Silverstone.
Yeah, it's a great demonstration of the variance of this series. Of course, we've got the normal sprint and feature races. I think we've got 6 of those this season. Then we've got 3 of these super sprints, and I've also got a couple of endurance rounds as well. Those endurance events lasting about 2 hours, and it really does bring up a lot of different challenges for the drivers. Should just mention, of course, this certain round is sponsored by D4 Pet Services. So good to get that one in the good to get that one out there. And so certainly thanks for sponsoring. Of course, this is a free series, I believe. So the sponsors for each round are absolutely fundamental to pay for our broadcast. So certainly thanks to that. But the championship looking so close, as Marco was going through. Of course, only 1 round on the board. And Domen Gunter, really the only championship contender not out there today. And it's just brilliant, isn't it, Marco? So many of these drivers have their strengths and weaknesses, and it's just about putting that all together. We saw a couple of poor rounds for Michael Evdoka and Nicole Foggy. And whilst it is early on in the championship, and we do have a drop round in this series, they'll be wanting to get back to winning ways as soon as possible.
Yeah, and as of this moment, with 4 minutes to go, McClay and Klusterman are tied for the pole position, which is quite amazing. I know this is a short lap, but this is also underlying the fact that this is a very competitive series. All the drivers are trying to get their best. You are right, Sam, of course. 1 little mistake and you are lagging behind already, so you want to get consistency. This should be your priority. We saw that last season with Michael Evdoka winning the championship, and his main rivals had all consistency problems. So if you are consistent, you have a very good chance of bringing on the championship. Right now, I think that McClay is in pole position due to the 4th decimal after the 3rd one that, of course, is hidden to us, but we know iRacing is calculating it very precisely, so it's just a question of more than 1/100th of a second, basically. And there's gonna be chaos. We see the layout is basically the short one, so a lot of right-hand corners in the beginning of the lap, then you get to the hairpin, and then to another series of right-handers and back to the start-finish line. So not the most difficult or technical layout available, but one that will for sure provide chaos. The first corner and the corner that brings back to the other side of the track, this one where Jamie McKnight is going to provide for absolute carnage, I think, in the beginning of the race. So people will have to be very, very careful. And of course, here at the hairpin down the straight, you will have a great passing opportunity. Also, you can pass quite easily at the final corner and in the first corner.
Yeah, it will be really interesting to see what that overtaking is like, because Okayama, the full layout, has kind of grown a bit of a reputation for being very difficult to overtake down, despite there being quite a few kind of major braking zones, a few straights as well, of course. And yeah, so it's a bit unusual that we sometimes don't see so much overtaking. It'll be interesting to see if we get much today, but I think 3 different race winners are really on the card today. And of course, yeah, the first race will be judged on qualifying, the second will be a random reverse, and the third will be a full reverse. Good to see George McClay out there, of course, Marco, and it's really impressive that he's so far got the pole position, potentially to the 4th decimal point, we believe. And yeah, to jump in like this for his first round in a while, I think, really is very impressive.
Yeah, I think that both him and Klusterman, as well as Brandon and Doka, all the top runners are going out for their final try out there to get the best lap possible, since they are on their out lap and there's 1 minute to go. So you really just need to get to the start finish line before the checker flag. Then you have 1 more lap. But I don't think that these guys can get a better time than this, because there's a lot of traffic out there right now. Maybe you can use some tow on the front stretch, but it's going to be more of a nuisance than help the traffic in these late stages of qualifying. And McClay, I think, is back into the pits. We'll see. Klusterman is getting a good launch, clear track ahead, and this is his chance to get pole position.
Yep, his last chance, Tony Klusterman. Be interested to see if anyone else can get involved. And, you know, Johnny Brandon going onto a lap. I say, you know, Brandon's a 10th behind, or 10th and a half behind. I don't mean any disrespect, because it's super close. I kind of half expected him to be a little bit closer. It is a short lap round here. Of course, it's a relatively basic lap coming from me, I did a practice session yesterday. I was about a second and a half off the pace, which I was pleased with. Even round a short circuit like this. Brandon, little bit hairy through that turn 3. Got a car up in the background as well. Let's see how neat and tidy Brandon is here. A little bit of tyre rubbing there, you could just hear. Keeping it relatively neat and tidy. It's quite deceiving, I think, Marco, around here. To be fast, you gotta be extremely smooth.
Yeah, and we see Brandon aborting his qualifying run, so it's going to be P3 for him. See Nicole Foggy on his out lap, so nothing doing. It's qualifying over for him as well. And I think no one else will improve on their lap times, so we're going to wait just a little bit, and then we will have on screen the qualifying results for round 3 of the championship, coming up in a few minutes from Okayama.
Yeah, Foggy ending up in 9th position. It hasn't been the start of the season that he would have wanted. He had a struggling Silverstone round, where he struggled in qualifying. I think qualified outside the top 5 and then struggled on his race start as well. Let's see if he'll improve this round. Grid should be up for you now, and it is George McClay on pole position. Joint fastest lap with Tony Klusterman on the front row. That'll be a fascinating run down into turn 1. Johnny Brandon starts in 3rd with Chris Jackson a strong 4th. Michael Taliancic, good to see him up in 5th with Michael Cracknell, new driver to the series, in 6th. Michael Abdoka starts in 7th, season 4 champion, of course, with Jamie McKnight in 8th, and then Nicole Foggy 9th, and Dominic Sawicki 3rd in the championship, 10th on the grid. Then behind that's warming up the top of the club drivers, and it's Marjan Croft, O'Connor, Okayama, Woodward, O'Brien, Whiting, Sori, McNally, Buzan, Peachman, Frost, Switzer, Moons, Busalan, and Dempsey rounding out this brilliant 27-car field out there. What can we expect in this first race of the evening, Marco? Are we going to see a lot of battling out in the lead? We saw Silverstone really difficult to overtake. Do you believe that there could be a few drivers maybe starting in 5th and 6th who could make their way up through the field?
Well, I think so, and you know, usually we say the first race is the more civil one, but this is a short track, and short tracks are always a different beast. We only have to hope that everything goes smoothly in the first couple of corners, because otherwise it could be absolute chaos from, you know, I mean, basically top positions back. As we wait for all the drivers to line up on the grid, we are getting closer and closer to the start of the race. You see the poleman, George McClay, Klusterman right beside him, only a couple of drivers left. At the most, we are 15 seconds away from the start of the race.
Yeah, just got Chris Jackson and Brenton O'Brien and Richard Dempsey as well to get on to the grid. Round 2 of the season, race 1 of the evening. And we are about to go away. Jackson didn't get to the grid, but George McClay from the pole position. And away we go. It's not a good start for McClay, and already Klusman is drawing alongside. Going into turn 1. Grandin holding on to 3rd. Klusman down the inside. Into turn 1. He's going to have the inside for turn 2 as well. It's the perfect start for the race 2 winner at Silverstone. He's taken the lead in the first couple of corners. Hanging on to 2nd is McClay with Grandin in 3rd. Taliancic 4th. Already up 2 positions is Adoka. Foggy up 3 positions.
Yeah, the experience of Klusterman there, he was smooth on the start and he got P1 thanks to that, and now we will see if Johnny Brandon will be able to pass McClay or if McClay will be able to close the gap.
Just losing out is Nicole Foggy to Michael Cracknell. Really good start for Foggy, and like at Silverstone a couple of weeks ago, but he failed to make that move stick. Adoka looking really close onto the back of Taliancic, the pair of them already gaining positions but not getting nearly close enough going into turn 1, just overtaking the background. Woodward just going past Morrigan, I think that was, but already Klusman a 2nd out in the lead.
Yeah, great start for Klusterman. It was the most important part of the race and he got it completely right, and now he has the luxury. Yes, oh, there's a crash there. Moons and Bocatire, I think.
Oh, McClay's dropping down the field, so McClay's dropped down to 6th position after starting on the pole, and here he was.
The replay for you. Let's see. Going into the hairpin, attacked by Brandon, and there's huge contact there. He was moved out of the way by Johnny and he lost a lot of positions. A rough welcome back to the series for George McClay, I think, after a bad start, and now this contact here.
Having to defend from Nicole Foggy. He could be under pressure from Jim McKnight, who nearly loses the car on the bricks going into turn 2. I don't really know how to judge that incident. It's always a bit misleading, I think, going into that hairpin. And Sawicki, I think, trying to get past as well. So many, you know, really good drivers. He got podiums in the first round of the season, and now going for a move again. And there could be contact. There is.
Yeah, and there is contact.
And Sawicki goes through. McKnight only loses the 1 position though, down into 9th. Those two fighting for 2nd last 2 weeks ago. This time they're fighting for 8th.
Lots of contacts now. I think the mid pack is absolutely like a pressure cooker. Drivers left and right. Oh, huge moment there for Woodward as Bazin is losing a lot of positions. He is in the gravel, yeah. See a replay, car number 2, let's see what happened here. First corner. Misjudged his braking point and went into the grass. No damage, so he can get back on track.
yeah, he'll be hoping for a full reverse for the second race of the evening. We'll have to wait and see, of course. That'll be after the race is complete. Abdoka did get past Cracknell, so I don't think we saw that. But Abdoka did make the move on Cracknell. You know what? You know, season 4 champion at Silverstone. He got a third, I think, in the first race. Didn't have a strong second race whatsoever. But I must say, Abdoka, after a not so good qualifying, he's driving really well now, Marco.
Absolutely, and I think Taljancic will be his next victim. He's lining up the pass at the hairpin. Of course, he's going to wait just a little bit because it's too early now. I mean, too early in the overtaking process, but he's getting closer and closer. Of course, we're going to have 23 laps, and 23 laps go by in a hurry in this place. Lapping just around 52-53 seconds in qualifying, so you know it's a short lap. And yeah, I think that he's driving very well, as is Foggy, and he's also trying to line up a move on McLean.
Yeah, McLean not backing up his qualifying pace necessarily, but of course overheating those tyres most likely after that slide earlier on. But right now, Foggy doesn't really seem that close to making a move. You can maybe go for a bit of a sneak kind of move around, a bit of a surprise overtake, a dive into one of these many hairpins around this circuit. But that time, not close enough whatsoever. A little bit of wheel spin on the exit as well. Still, Richard Warmingham leading the club drivers out there, just ahead of Anthony Woodward. And then in third, it's Michael Frost. But right now, Foggy right onto the tail of McClegg. Can he make an impression down to turn 1? You can see Marco. He's pretty much losing time all the way down the straight. That slipstream effect not helping him out whatsoever.
Absolutely, and now we see some side-by-side driving here from Morricone and Woodward. The Spanish driver having the inside, and I think gaining the position on the car number 265 now in his S's. On the Grand Prix track, it's Woodward almost loses the car. Great save there, but I think he's losing another position to Lane O'Connor, who's got the inside now on the right-hander, and he gets the position.
Not quite done yet. Woodward, can he just dive to the inside into this final corner? No, he's going to have to wait behind and maybe go for a move. So not a good lap whatsoever for Anthony Woodward, and he's going to struggle to make up this position once again on O'Connor. Good to see O'Connor back competitive again, because he's had a couple of poor weeks at the start of the season, just struggling for a little bit of pace up there in the BSR GT and also in this series. But he's right up there again, fighting it with some very good drivers, and going a little bit wide there in the end.
There was I think there was a car on the grass there, one of the NQR cars. What I want to say is that Brandon is closing the gap 0.2 of a second per lap on Klusterman, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see if we will back it up for the third lap in a row. On the start-finish straight, Tony Klusterman has just posted 52.9 and Johnny Brandon 52.8, so still gaining. Of course, Johnny Brandon, since he's always a fast driver, but now he's switched to Ford and he's even faster, 1.5 seconds the gap between position 1 and position 2.
Yeah, of course, Crucially gets a bit of favouritism from you as well due to that car. So, also, of course, the reverse grid last time, didn't it really put him on a good position or something? I don't know, he got lucky and we put it down to the Ford. A little bit of wheel spin again there. I don't think he's gained any time this lap. He's just lost a little bit of time, a little bit of a scrappy lap for Brandon. But they are pulling away, these two. The two winners, of course, from Silverstone.
Abdoka
all over the place.
Yeah, Abdoka is in danger of losing a place to Cracknell, and they are side by side. Cracknell has the line in the first corner. I tell you what, I think he can make it stick. Let's see. Yes, he can. Now, difficult situation here because the lines tend to cross from the outside to the inside, but Cracknell has got the move, and let's see if Doka will try a move immediately at the hairpin. He won't. So that's a rare mistake from Doka and a position lost.
Yeah, we'll be really frustrated with that one. Doka couldn't get past one of the performance sim sports cars, and just a mistake from him. It's been behind another one, and I don't fancy his chances. We've seen overtaking really struggling out there, and just ask Nicole Foggy that, because he still hasn't got past George McClay. And it's incredible, Marco. These drivers just don't gain down the straights. The kind of slipstream fit, these straights just aren't long enough for the drivers to start making up some time kind of late on down these straights to go and have a move.
No, they are not. You can make up your time basically only in the corners. The straights won't help you, and that's sort of what I was expecting. But you know, oh, and now a little bit of contact there, I think, between Foggy and McClay. Just a little bit of side contact, or maybe Foggy had to just take a wider line at the very last second to avoid contact, but in short, he did lose a little bit of time. McClay holding on to P6 as Nicole Foggy is trying to gain a position, and once again trading laps times, Kusterman and Brandon. Now this time 1/10 faster was Brandon, but the gap is has increased 1.8 seconds between the two, as we are basically at the halfway point of this first race, and there's entertainment aplenty all across the field.
Yeah, certainly. And of course, it's incredible to see, you know, Foggy, Sawicki and McKnight down in 7th, 8th and 9th positions, but haven't exactly been too unlucky. Three drivers who, you know, have got several podiums in this series, but they're just not, just the quality of driving up ahead of them has put them a little bit further than they'd want. Once again, Foggy really close to the plane. Doka close to Cracknell as well. These four all closing in on one another. Sawicki a little bit faster than these guys as well, just behind. And McClay, is he going to have to go defensive into turn one? You can see Foggy not really gaining, and yeah, has no interest going for the move into turn one.
One thing we have to say, even though we are, I think, in a morning setting, the track is, I think, 46 degrees Celsius, which is extremely hot.
And 37, according to me. So.
Oh well.
Wait, what? Yours says 46?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to check in a second. I will give you the precise info on my screen. Well, I got it at 98 Fahrenheit, which is, I will tell you in a second, because 37, yeah, I don't know where I got 46.
You probably just wanted to sound smart, didn't you? No one was going to doubt it apart from myself.
So, still, it's not a very cold track, and we can expect a never hotter track in the second race, which will be sideways is foggy, which will be run in the afternoon conditions, even though it could be very well cloudy. It's all up to the dynamic weather, so who knows. But still, very hot track for being an early morning race. And even though it's a short race, these guys will have to manage the tires.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to overheat the tyres, do you? And it is a 23 lap race, so about 20 minutes in length, because we are lap 14 currently, so we've still got a little bit longer to go. And of course, if this is not exciting enough for you, I'm sure races 2 and 3 will be with the reverse grids. That'll be absolutely fascinating and brilliantly entertaining to see the drivers make their way through the field, because there's so many drivers evenly matched out there.
I think McNally went a little bit wide there, or maybe, yeah, it was McNally, I think. And he's been swamped by all these other drivers going into turn one, almost 3 wide. Gotta hit your brake markers, and they do. I think that the reverse wheel... there's a little bit of contact, and a great save by McNally there. The reverse wheel owes us, because at Silverstone we only had, I think, 7, as McNally slows a lot.
Yeah, he had a slowdown. So it wasn't the perfect save.
No, we are guaranteed to have a full reverse for race 3, but we'll see what race 2 will show, and our old man Samuel Kumu has promised us a new wheel for this event after the previous one has been fired, so we can't wait for the end of the race, but we still have a little bit to go. And this battle pack here, Cracknell and Evdoka looking to gain his position back.
Yeah, just getting a little bit closer in the last lap or so, Evdoka. But you've seen Foggy so close to the back of McClay all race long. Kind of doubt that Evdoka's going to be able to make a move on Cracknell. And saying that they seem to be pretty evenly matched. Let's see, coming out of the final corner, will Cracknell make the same mistake as Evdoka made earlier on, and he's got a slowdown. I thought he took a bit of curb on the penultimate corner, and Cracknell is slow, and a mistake from Cracknell has undone the mistake from Evdoka, and they are back to 4th and 5th respectively.
Yeah, and now Cracknell is in the clutches of McClay, and in turn Foggy is trying to gain positions as well. These 4 guys here are providing plenty of entertainment. Taliancic is grateful, of course, because he's getting a podium position out of this. As you see McClay trying to make himself big in the mirrors of Cracknell there, as Foggy gets even closer. They are bumper to bumper, basically no space. You could pull a blanket over these 4 guys here.
Evdoka's certainly pulled away, hasn't he? This is going to be a 3-way battle, I think, to the end of the event. Foggy still not close enough. Oh, must be so frustrating for him. The whole Silverstone round, I've gone on about it a little bit, but he spent the majority of the round just stuck behind drivers. And he's got that familiar feeling out here. Hopefully he'll get a 7-car reverse. Now put him on pole position, and maybe you wouldn't have to stick behind any drivers. Is there a chance maybe going into this hairpin? Thought there might be, but not quite for Foggy.
I also think, Sam, that this being race 1, they are all being a little bit careful, and the patience will become shorter and shorter the more races we have in the evening. So in this race maybe Foggy is thinking, okay, it's okay with 7th place, or if I get my chance I can try to make a move. But I can tell you, if in race 2 and 3 he's still stuck behind another driver, he will use this bumper to move him out of the way. And now he's trying for the outside, but never easy.
Oh,
and the line, all the dirt there.
There was a car off as well. I think that's just a back marker. Yeah, that was Ronald Moonstone, who I think was just desperate to get out of the way of the faster cars behind. That's a good job, to be fair, from Ronald.
Yeah, this being one of the... oh, let's see if Foggy makes the move. He puts his nose on the inside, but that's some power sliding there. Oh, okay. I said race 2, Foggy decided, tell you what, I'm doing it in race 1.
McKnight's got Sawicki then. So McKnight versus Sawicki, side by side, heading down the pit straight here at Okayama. McKnight's got the ideal line on the inside. There's not a whole lot Sawicki can do, unless he can maybe get the cut back, and that's what he's tried to do at least. And he's got the inside line made for turn 2. How brave is he on the brakes? To be fair, McKnight just covering off that one nicely. And they stay as, and yeah, McKnight makes that move stick up into P8.
Great move there, as behind them it's Warningham, Sawicki. You see, now it's Warningham trying to gain a position over Sawicki, as we are in lap 20 of 23. Well, 21 right now, because the leaders have just crossed the start-finish line. 53.8 for Klusterman, 53.5 for Brandon. It's basically a cat-and-mouse game. I don't know if you say it in the UK as well, but basically in Italian it means that one lap one driver gains, the other lap the other driver gains. So the gap is more or less still the same between Klusterman and Brandon, and I think that barring any unforeseen mistake by Tony, he will bring home a race 1 victory, but he will have to face the pressure from Brandon until the final corner, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's been really close between those two, incredibly. Hasn't been close whatsoever. Back to Taliancic, who I must say has done an awesome job. This will be his first podium of the season, his first podium, I believe, since season 3. I don't think he got one last season after not taking part in many of the rounds. He only did a couple of rounds. So that'd be awesome for him to get back on the podium, back to where he really should be. But he is some 7.5 seconds off Brandon currently, with that incredible train of cars just behind as well. He's kind of avoided all of that, as Michael stated.
Cracknell is closing in once again on Evdoka. These two have battled all race long, and what a feeling for Cracknell to be battling with the defending series champion for the entirety of the first race. Certainly a confidence booster for him.
Yeah, and seemingly really evenly matched on pace. I was maybe a little bit quick to assume earlier on that Evdoka was going to try to get the move on Cracknell. In the end, it was just a mistake from Michael to pass the other Michael. Oh dear, have you seen this, Marco? P3, P4 and P5 are all Michaels. We can't deal with this in the commentary box.
Absolutely, we can't.
At least 2 of them must leave.
Yeah. As Tony Klusterman takes the white flag, so it's the final lap of this race 1 of 3, and he's got around 1 second over Johnny Brandon, so he's about to get the victory. Final few corners for him, just has to be careful and not make any mistakes. Only 2 right-handers left, and then he will be celebrating with the champagne.
Coming up to the line now, Tony Policeman, Season 1 champion. He sure has started Season 5 very well. Across the line comes Tony Policeman to take his second race victory of the season, and it was with ease in the end. A second clear of Johnny Brandon, was never under pressure after an awesome start from the front row of the grid. Docker will hold off Cracknell and Foggy, with McClay ending up in P7. So, wait, did we see Foggy going past McClay? We did, didn't we?
I think we did not. It must have happened in the final lap, because or did we? There was the power slide there. Then on the outside.
Oh yeah,
we
so it's
saw
the
that.
contact, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We have very short-term memories, clearly.
Oh yes.
Warmingham ended up as the top club driver out there, with Woodward in second in that department. But yeah, what a drive from Tony, wasn't it? It was, I really think as though I saw pretty much all of last season, Marco, and Tony, of course, was driving brilliantly back then, but I really think he's always taking it up to an extra level, despite him being such an experienced driver, Tony. I think he's driving better now than he's ever done, and that was an easy race victory. I thought once he got the lead, it never looked like he was going to give it up.
Yeah, the gap with Brandon was fluctuating, but never got into a danger zone. So he was able to manage the entire race, and he got a nice victory out of it. And I think we are ready to bring you the final race results.
Yes, and it's Tony Policeman taking his second race victory of the season here at Okayama, with Johnny Brandon pushing him hard in second. Michael Taliancic, his first time on the podium for a while, in third after starting in fifth. Michael Docker will be pleased with fourth after starting in seventh. Michael Cracknell will be a little bit frustrated with that, perhaps in fifth after a slowdown cost him a top 4 finish. Nicole Foggy ends up in sixth from ninth on the grid. He'll take that with George McClay after contact and a poor start as well. Contact with Johnny Brandon on second lap, ends up in seventh, but he could be a danger later on, no doubt. Jamie McKnight ends up in 8th. He had a little bit of a quiet race, but a good battle with Dominic Sawicki and Richard Warmingham. He was the top club driver, and I must say that's probably the most impressive performance from Warmingham I've seen in a Euro V8 Supercar Series race. And it's Victor Morgan in 11th position. He's really started the season well, new driver to the series, with Lane O'Connor in 12th. Anthony Woodward was second of the club drivers, with Guy Croft in 14th overall. Brenton O'Brien 15th. Jacob Buslan in 16th after starting in 26th place. And it's Dominic Sori, Adam McNally, Sam Buzan, Nikolai Bogatayev, Michael Frost, Carsten Piechman, Bill Switzer, Clyde Whiting, Ronald Moons, Chris Jackson did not take the start, and Richard Dempsey rounded out the 27-car field. And Sam, I think we have the reverse grid for the day.
Yes, we do, and it should be on your screen right now. This is the new version, which should work. So let's spin it. And what do we get? I'm sorry, but it might be another small one. It is 6.
Wow.
Oh wow! I think we can
Okay.
fire this new wheel as well. We need a new one.
I would sign up for that. I wanted to see a big reverse. We will get a full reverse for third day, for the third race of the evening, sorry. But it is Nico Foggy on the pole position. Really has worked well for him. I think it was pole at Silverstone as well. So Foggy getting all the luck. Let's see if he can do a little bit better than he did at Silverstone. Starting from pole position with Michael Cracknell in second, Michael Abdoka third, and there'll be Taliancic, Björnsen, and race 1 winner Klusterman starting in 6th position. Do not miss it. Coming up in about 15 minutes time, race 2 of the evening here at Okayama.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line.
Welcome back to the KSW Painting Euro V8 Supercar series here at Okayama. On the short layout, we saw an awesome race one. Leading this race 2 will be Nico Foggy from the pole position, ahead of Michael Cracknell. It's Michael Abdoka, Michael Talianchis, that's going to get confusing. Johnny Brandon starts in 5th in race 1, winner Tony Kliesman starts in 6th position. Just got a few more seconds of gridding up for the drivers now. Just got a couple more drives to get onto the grid and we will be ready. After a really closely fought race 1, can the likes of Brandon and Kliesman make their way up through the field? The grid is set. Nico Foggy from the pole position. And away we go. Foggy really away well, so too is Abdoka from the second row. Cracknell really not challenging going into turn 1, but hanging on to 2nd position. Abdoka hangs on to 3rd with Talianchis 4th. Brandon not making an impression so far. He's trying to go around the outside, and there's contact. Abdoka almost into the wall. And then just about made contact, then there's more contact, and there's a big wreck. Big wreck. This is incredible in the second race of this Okayama meeting. Unbelievable. Not Nico Foggy is the only car that's got away without damage. What on earth happened there, Marco?
I have no idea. There's more crashing. More crashing. Wow.
Oh, there's a massive... Oh my goodness. I've never seen anything like this. This is quite incredible.
Wow, basically a roadblock there. There was a huge contact. One car cut the hairpin, and then at the next corner another huge crash. I have no idea what's going on. Foggy gets the race lead, the only guy to lap under 1 minute. Everybody else was basically involved in some kind of carnage. Let's see the replay. Everything started here with this contact with Abdoka and Cracknell. They went back onto the track, and this was the first incident.
2 teammates, wasn't it? Cracknell, I'd have to say, was a little bit dangerous coming back onto the circuit, although him and...
Look what happens here, because we will see a white car completely miss this corner. No, sorry, it was a grey car completely miss this corner. Another crash here, and then at the next corner, another huge contact. Wow!
Yeah, I saw Wormium and Abdoka, I think, involved in it, but all the XVR drivers were, I think, involved in it pretty much. Well, this was a roller coaster of a ride for Richard Warren. I think he saw pretty much all of it. So does he collide with his teammate here? No, there's contact ahead then, and then he gets slammed from behind.
Man, oh man, I have never seen anything like it in this series. We saw some pretty hard leaks over the seasons, but this was particularly bad. And you know, it's important in this race to stay on the lead lap, because of course you won't be able to get the reverse. So wow, I am speechless. Foggy has got a clear-cut lead. I think we are something like, could it be around 10 seconds over Sowicki, then Brandon. Sowicki got 7th place, there's Whiting in 9th place, 14th place ahead of where he started. This is amazing. Brandon basically, I think, was able to avoid most of the contact, even though I see damage on his car. There's not one car without damage, basically, apart from Foggy, I think.
Would have loved to see that from Foggy's rear view mirror with the carnage going on behind. It does mean that Kliesman, remember, championship leader, he's not going to be championship leader at the end of this race. We can almost be certain about that. He's down in 15th position. He could be starting a very strong position for race 3 though. That's what he's got to think, I think. But yeah, started in 6th place. He's down into 15th. Other big drivers down the field. Talianchis down into 23rd. Wormium in 20th. Chris Jackson. Oh, yeah, good to see Jackson out there. I thought he'd be out of the race, but he's in 17th currently, up 8 positions from where he started. Also got McKnight down in 11th. Policeman making his way up through the field right now, but Clyde Whiting, 15 positions gained, 23rd to 8th. That's how it's done.
Yeah, he's the leader of the yellow race, the club competition, with Switzer second, Frost third, Birmingham and Woodward the fourth and fifth. Wow, that was once again shocking to see from our perspective. Every corner basically there was an incident in the first lap, apart from the very first one. And you saw basically the first 3 crashes were connected, and then the fourth one was completely independent of the first, because everything started from the F-Doka and Cracknell contact. As you see, Klusterman on the inside, passing Moons, and I think he will pass Switzer next. All these drivers have to manage now not only their bruised egos, but their bruised cars as well, trying to keep them on the track, staying on the lead lap.
Well, the only driver who's not on the lead lap at the moment is Carsten Piechman. I can't see, maybe Woodward might go down a lap. He's the only one who I think so. They've kind of got away with it, I think, because they did get a fast repair in this series, but he's kind of the one is Carsten, who is off the lead lap currently. Brandon did, by the way, make the move on Sawicki, and McClay's managed to get the move on Cracknell, so we missed those moves. Avdoka's still in P6, so Avdoka actually isn't far behind Cracknell, so I think Cracknell has got quite a bit of damage, because I think he was running, he got up into P2, didn't he, at the start, Marco, and you can see he's tumbling down the field now.
Yeah, we see round 2 between these two guys. They had two contacts, basically in the first corner and then in second corner and then in the third corner. That's what set off the huge pileup, the first huge pileup, as Avdoka is all sorts of sideways, trying to get past his opponent. These two guys have battled all race long in the first race, and looks like more of the same in the second race, as McClay also is in that same zone as well. So Wiki making huge gains, of course, 6 places gained. We'll see if he will be able to remain up there in the podium spots or near the podium spots, as the track is so busy right now. And once again, I cannot see a car without damage. They are all damaged in some sort, or maybe Clyde Whiting is a little bit better than the others. We see his car looks pretty clean. But look behind him, you see Croft damage on the front left side, on the right side. Damage on Suarez as well, and now Croft, desperation move on Clyde Whiting. And once again, trying to get the move done here. Foggy gets another lap in. Brandon is quicker, but 7.2 seconds won't be easy to make them up, and we are already on lap 9, so not a chance. I think it will be it's going to be a mistake from Foggy, otherwise he's got this race in the bag.
Yeah, I think so. He's not a slouch as Nico Foggy. It's going to be his first race victory of the season. The only driver apart from Brandon and Klusman to not to take a race victory. And Switzer's off the circuit. Is he going to lose a couple of positions? And he's very slow as Bill. He didn't make contact with the wall, did he?
No, I think not, but I think he's got some kind of damage. He tried to finish his... Oh, and look at Avdoka here. Desperate to get the move on Cracknell. I don't think that Michael will be happy with Michael's behavior in that first couple of corners of the race, so I don't think he will be very patient here. He will try to make the move as quickly as possible.
Sorry, I thought that was a move up ahead, it was just a back marker. Oh dear. Already we're seeing the Michael confusion getting far too much for us. Avdoka just can't get this one done, can he? He's, if anything, to be fair, Cracknell has just improved his pace a little bit, but yeah, they're still struggling quite a bit for pace lap right now. Cracknell was a second slower than the cars ahead on that last lap. Oh, F-Doc is all over the place, and he's going to come into the pits.
What's going on here? Maybe it feels like I tell you what's going on here. I think he will take the fast repair and a good starting position for race 3 and not risk nursing a damaged car for a mediocre finish in race 2. Unless he has a penalty, but I don't think that's what's going on here. As we see, not the easy car. Yeah, it's Suarez, I think, going for a ride.
That's disappointing for Surrey because he was running really well beforehand. He was moving up into the top 8, I believe, top 9, sorry, after Evdoka's pit stop. Bogatire side by side with Moons and Morrigan currently.
I can't believe we are already on lap 12, halfway through this race. It's been a chaos-filled race from the word go. Let's see where Evdoka slots out. He's in 22nd position, so looking to a P3 start in the final race of the evening with a clean car right now. And in front of him is Taliancic, less than a second away. And we'll see if Michael will go and try to make moves on all these cars you see in front of him, or if he will take the good position on the reverse.
Taliancic struggling a little bit at the moment, although that last lap from Taliancic was very strong. Boggy's been very strong, and look at that. The whole pit straight to himself as Johnny Benton just rounds the final corner there. The gap's coming down a little bit. It's really nothing to talk about right now. Klusman's race victory in the first race was easy. This is, yeah, extremely easy for Nicole Foggy. And he got, yeah, about 10 more laps to complete, and he will take his first race victory of the season. Still, Sawicki running in third with McClay fourth, Cracknell fifth, O'Brien closing in. This would be an awesome result for Brenton O'Brien, wouldn't it? If he got a top 5, that'd be great to see. O'Brien fifth and Whiting sixth. You'd have, you know, pretty good odds, pretty far odds on that happening at the start of the race.
Yeah, Brenton sporting a brand new livery just in time for this second race, and I think he will have to do some repairs afterwards immediately. But he's having a very, very nice run here in P6 with Whiting right behind him. I don't know if McKnight will be able to close. He's faster than both of these guys, but he has got a little bit of a way to go and a lot of cars behind him, more importantly. Lap 14 out of 23, so there's still time for him to make up some position, but he has got, I think, Croft sitting right behind him. Oh, look at McKnight there. That was a brave move. Didn't pay off, and now now Croft is even closer and closer. Oh!
No.
And he's gone. Croft is gone. Yeah.
Actually laying him back past his Klusman, so I think, did Klusman hit him here? Yeah, he did, and that's really good sporting from Klusman. I don't really expect anything less from Tony. Lost himself a lot of time, lost himself a position just to let the position go, and that's really good from Tony. I'm sure he's going to make that move anyway. And here he goes. And actually, I think that was pretty generous again from Crofton. He's slow now. I think he realised that damage is it's not worth him fighting against these drivers when he's struggling so much. Whiting under pressure from McKnight out there. Only 0.4 of a second between the two of them. If McKnight can get this one, he might still stand a chance at a top 5. He really needs to get a move on. I don't know if this is a good race where you can kind of call it a good time to make up some points on some other drivers. McKnight down the inside, could he make contact with Whiting? So not quite. He could still have a move here and putting his nose into places where it shouldn't really be. Oh, he's lost it all by himself. And really slow as well is Croft, I think. McKnight has thrown away a potential top 5. falling down the field now. That's terrible for Jamie.
Wow, that was you were right. You get past Whiting and then you get a good crack at the top 5, and now he's in P17. Terrible mistake there, and this race is giving us surprise after surprise. It's all happening. Taljancic getting close to O'Connor, as Evdoka right now is sitting in 23rd position.
We think how many points that's going to lose Michael Evdoka.
I hope for his sake that this is all worth it, because I think he's clearly... Oh, Taljancic! Mamma mia, very, very, very close. Can he complete the move on the outside? No, he can't.
Sums up this race. We can't get an easy overtake.
What did I tell
Taljancic.
you in the first race? Race 2 and race 3. Oh, who's that? It's Chris Jackson.
Oh, he'd been struggling. He had a 4-second slower lap time the last lap, and as he lost it, all by himself, Jackson.
Oh,
No, I think that might be a steering wheel failure, isn't it?
We knew from the first race he had steering wheel problems, and that I think not only is his race but also his weekend, because I don't think we will see him participate in the third race. I was telling you in the first race that this race 2 and 3 were going to be with a lot less patience from the drivers. Look at that, drivers going left and right, sideways, trying to make the move, trying to defend. McKnight is furious with himself after that mistake. Oh!
Oh, he's got so much damage, hasn't he? Got no straight line speed. That's all does McKnight. He doesn't need straight line speed. He's good on the brakes, and I think he will make this one going into turn 1. Past Ronald Moose. Moose will come back at him just down this straight, but McKnight is far too good round the corners and up into P15. But he should really be fighting for a top 5 by now. You try to plot where each of these drivers have been in the race, Marco. What has happened to each of these drivers? I have no idea. Too much has gone on. My brain has gone overload. And, you know, you just look at Gyrus and, oh, fast driver down in 15th position. Probably had a crash or two. But it's been that chaotic. I don't think I've ever seen a race like this.
Yeah, I'm scared to look at the post-race chart, flow chart of the race, because it's going to be a mess for sure. Taljancic once again trying to get his move on O'Connor after the contact they had a couple of laps ago.
You can see how Evdoka and Woodward are in the background of these guys now, making their way closer and closer to the back. They haven't got particularly good pace up there. Oh no, well, they've got decent pace to be fair. But yeah, Taljancic trying to get the move on O'Connor once again. Doesn't like this section of corners, does he? Oh, he really doesn't like it.
And again, for good measure, he is not happy, I think, about what happened before. Let's see if we go for the trifecta here. Oh yes!
Oh, he's gonna go for 4! And he's made it! Oh, and a big crash! And there's issues for the drivers behind as well. There's another one involved, and another. That's a doctor! And Woodward's going some, like, oh my goodness. What more could you ask from a race?
Oh, a disaster for Woodward. He was poised for a nice start in the front rows in race 3, and that will be his race, sadly. He'll get the fast repair, but he will go a lap down.
Wait, what? McKnight hasn't had another? No. So, this was it. Oh, this is so unfortunate for Anthony.
Yeah, and I think that Lane O'Connor as well has suffered the same fate, towing back to the pits. He will go a lap down.
So Foggy was just behind as well. Foggy could have easily got involved in that one.
Man, oh man. 2 laps to go when Foggy crosses the start-finish line here. And in front of him, as we see, some more chaos in the first corner. Taljancic and Moons are battling.
Is that... so is that Taljancic passing Moons then, I guess?
I guess so, yes. So Foggy is the leader, and the first car 1 lap down is Michael... Sorry, the last car on the lead lap is Michael Frost. You can see on that mini-map he is very, 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 very close.
Oh, another Michael. Bloody hell.
To putting Frost 1 lap down, as I think we are getting the white flag in a couple of seconds as Foggy is on the final corner, and Foggy actually put Frost 1 lap down. So it's looking like a Michael Evdoka pole position in race 2, white flag in the air, as Bokatayev and Morahon are fighting once again, and you see now the race leader.
Looks as though Evdoka has timed this one absolutely perfectly. He's not going to quite go a lap down. You'll be able to see him just in the back, in the distance. That is Michael Evdoka. He is going to get pole position, I think, for race 3 of the evening. But Nicole Foggy did not. So he did have the race, the pole position for this race, and he is driven away from the field whilst everything was going on behind him. He has had a very simple race out in the lead. Nicole Foggy, not a scratch on his car. He rounds the final corner, and he's going to take his first race victory of the season to get his championship back on track. Nicole Foggy takes the second race victory of the evening here at Okayama. An awesome drive with Johnny Brandon and Dominic Sawicki rounding out the top 3. It'll be McClay, Cracknell, O'Brien in 4th, 5th and 6th, with Klusterman seemingly going to be able to recover to 7th position. Whiting's going to get 8th, I think. Let's see if Bogatayev can get a move on Croft in this final corner. You wouldn't bet against it with what we've seen in this race so far, but it looks as though Bogatayev's going to comfortably beat Morahan around the final corner. And that is the end. Oh, Birmingham is in. Oh, this is smart. You clever boy, Richard Birmingham. Well done. I have respect for that. Whilst it is cheating.
What is it? Silverstone 2003?
Oh, he's trying to get himself disqualified.
What's going on here?
What a clever guy, Richard Birmingham. Well done. You're going to get pole position for the final race.
Oh man, this one.
I think there should be a rule against that. But... wow. Yeah, I assume there's not a rule against that, Marco.
Maybe you are too young to remember, but in the British Grand Prix, I think of 2003, basically there was like you did one flying lap, and then there was reverse order that another flying lap, and that was the pole position basically, no? And there was fear of rain in the second qualifying session, so
yes,
all the drivers were speeding on purpose to start the second qualifying run earlier. We have the final results, I think, from this absolutely crazy race from Okayama, Sam.
Nick Foggy takes the race victory. 3.5 seconds curve, joined Brandon. The gap was halved by the end. Dominic Sawicki gets his second podium of the season from 9th on the grid, with George McClay. Good drive from him in 4th. Michael Cracknell, well, he'll be a little bit frustrated with that. At the same time, super lead. He ends up in 5th after starting on the front row of the grid with Brinton O'Brien. What a drive from him. 15th to 6th, just avoided the instance on the opening lap. Tim Klusman ends up in 7th. Really good recovery drive from him. He was pretty much stone dead last at one point. Clyde Whiting, 23rd to 8th. Dominic Sori, we didn't see too much of him. Good drive though from Sori. I think that's his best finish of this series. Guy Croft ends up in 10th with Nikolai Bogatayev 11th from 19th on the grid. Then it's Victor Morahan in 12th with Jamie McKnight, what could have been for him in 13th. Michael Taliancic, he had a lot of issues out there, not just the start. I think the entire race was troublesome for him in 14th. Ronald Means ends up in 15th from 24th on the grid. Then it's Adam McNally in 16th and Michael Abdoka in 17th. Was not a lap down, crucially. He'll take pole position for the final race of the evening. I thought Richard Warming was going to get pole position, but he ends up a lap down. So I don't know if he thought the same as me. It worked for him, but yeah, he ends up in 18th. Crucially, a lap down. He'll start in 18th for the final race of the evening. Michael Frost ends up in 19th. Carsten Pischman in 20th. Anthony Woodward, what could have been for him? He could have been on pole position for the race 3 of the evening. He ends up in 21st, 2 laps down with Samuel Busen in 22nd. That's Leonard Connor, Chris Jackson with a steering wheel failure, and Bill Switzer in 25th. Sam, I don't know if we could just get a replay of the start, because it was absolutely crazy. But just watching Taliancic, because I'm pretty sure he was pretty much at the centre of all of it. So that'd be fascinating to see kind of his perspective of this first lap of the race, which, Marco, was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, the only clean corner is going to be this one, the first corner. Then after that, it's all gloves are off, and we see basically the first contact is Evdoka and his opponent Cracknell. They come back on the track, Taliancic hits them, makes somewhat of a save, then all hell breaks loose behind them. Everybody tries to gain position, and we will see the grey car that I have not identified yet that will cut this hairpin, strike a couple of cars, and then the absolute mayhem here at the second hairpin. An
Michael, to be
absolute
fair,
roadblock.
Michael was a little bit reckless there, I'm not gonna lie, going across the circuit like that. So Michael came in for a fast bit. I didn't even realise he came into the pits. That's incredible. That's how much was going on. We just didn't notice one of the front runners kept coming into the pits. And it didn't really cost him that much time. And then what a race that was.
Yeah, just look at the positives of all of this. It's great training for Detroit.
Yes, that's 100%. That's the next round, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so, because I'm missing the round in two rounds' time. I think that's Spa Endurance. But I will be doing this series, crucially. So, sorry, the Bel Air round, which is the one I want to do. But what a race 2 that was. I said in the race 1, you know, if this isn't exciting enough, wait for race 2 and race 3. You'll be glad that you did wait, didn't you? And for race 3, it's going to be more of the same, we hope. We'll be back with you in about 15 minutes' time for the finale of round 2 of the season.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Because here comes Okayama. He has the outside line through the final corner for the final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Hello and welcome to race 3 of the evening in the KSW Painting Euro V8 Supercars series here at Okayama on the short configuration. We've just seen, Marco, one of the most incredible races we've ever witnessed. That race 2, everything happened, name it, it happened. And maybe this race 3, I don't think it's going to be quite as action-packed, but we did see a comfortable victory for Nicole Foggy. I think this time though, we're not going to see a pole to flag race victory. I think we're going to see a lot more battles happening at the front of the grid.
Absolutely, it's going to be an interesting race. Also, the weather has pulled a surprise on us because we have overcast weather. We've got a pretty cool track, so it's the coolest it has been all day long. So more grip for these drivers. Michael Evdoka will start from pole position, and he will be hoping for a repeat of race 2. I say that everybody behind him gets into trouble, but we will see. It's going to be interesting to see if these drivers have learned their lesson and will behave a little bit more carefully in the first lap, or if they will not have learned from their mistakes and we will have once again complete carnage in the first lap. We'll see. Hopefully we get a clean start, a clean getaway, and drivers will be able to battle all over the field and all over the track.
Yeah, hopefully we will see that. Of course, Evdoka with his troubles in race 2, very much kind of aimed to get the pole position for race 3. Really wants to take away this race victory nice and comfortably. It would be his first race victory since Owen Park in the final round of last season. The grid is ready, and it is Michael Evdoka on the pole position ahead of Adam McNally. Ronald Mean starts in 3rd with Michael Taliancic. He had a troublesome race. He starts in 4th. Jimmy McKnight did as well in 5th with Victor Morgan in 6th. It's Nikolai Bogotayev in 7th, Gary Croft in 8th, Dominic Sori in 9th, and Clyde Whiting had an awesome result, but he will start in 10th for this race. So do you think Evdoka is going to be able to drive away from the rest of the field? Is it important that, or do you think if Taliancic can maybe get up into 2nd in the opening few corners or laps, do you think he might be able to put a bit of pressure on Evdoka out in the lead?
Well, I think Evdoka has to win this race. He gambled by finishing on purpose as far back as possible in race 2, so he needs to win in this race.
Big pressure on Michael Evdoka. We are about to get going here. Evdoka from the pole, and away we go. Evdoka away well. McNally's pretty close going into turn 1, but Evdoka will take the lead for now. McNally really on his tail though. Taliancic already making up into 3rd position. Taliancic might even go for a move going into turn 2 against Adam McNally. McNally's going to go around though, and we're not going to see a repeat of the last time, are we? We've seen a similar incident, not quite as bad as last time, but there's more cars going around,
again.
and there's a lot of crashes as well. There's a Performance sport car, I think that might be Klosterman round, and they're back into the circuit as well. There's so many cars stationary on the circuit trying to avoid the mayhem, and we've seen a similar start to race 2. Klosterman round, championship leader going into this round. He's not going to be championship leader coming out of it.
Well, lesson not learned, sadly. That chicane there, that S corner there, providing once again too much to handle for these drivers, and the subsequent corner there with the straight, with drivers trying to wrestle their cars to go in a straight line. And once again we see car number 005 involved, Cracknell. Once again, I don't think that was his fault, and then everything happened behind him.
Yeah, I don't know if we could just see what happened to Klosterman, maybe from the chopper view, because I assume he got a bit of a nudge round, and Klosterman's into the pits actually, having to pick up a bus bag. I can see him maybe recovering slightly. It was just a tap from the performance car, which tapped, I can't see who that was, Alice McClay, who hit Klosterman in the end.
Yeah. Very, very unlucky there, Tony Klosterman, and another bad race for him. He is coming out of the pits, and I think he will be one lap down for sure. And that was a big crash, but not many drivers were forced to pit or to take a tow, so it's not like he's going to be able to, fight his way back through the field. He will be losing a lot of points in this third race. So Evdoka is in the lead. Taljancic, McKnight, Morejón, Bogatayrev. This is the top 5 with Croft, Brandon and McNally basically right there, knocking on the door of the top 5. Wormingham now on camera.
Yeah, I think the driver that we got to watch out for the rest of the race is Brandon. See if he can maybe recover to a top 5. I think that's pretty much as good as it's going to get for Brandon. He is up 9 positions from his start. Wormingham up 8, starting in 18th position. I must say this is the most impressive Richard Wormingham I've seen in this series, and I think he's going to go for a move here down the inside of Brenton O'Brien. O'Brien already moving down a few positions earlier on, and he's going to move down another one here. Richard Wormingham 3, and there's going to be a car just behind as well. That was Michael Cracknell trying to get involved. He hasn't had an awesome start, up 2 positions for where he started, running in P11 currently, and Brandon's just got past Bogatayrev.
Yeah, Cracknell's car once again very, very badly damaged after the first corners, but he's still hanging on there, trying to get the top 5 or top 10 with Sowicki right behind him, and Foggy as well in P13, looking to make some moves, whilst at the top of the pack Evdoka and Taljancic are trading laps. Is slightly quicker Evdoka in the beginning of the race, as we see maybe as early braking there for O'Brien, going into the first corner. That is affecting Foggy, who's trying to make a move on Sowicki, and he does it.
Is Sowicki still there? No, he's not. Sowicki is behind now. So Foggy, he really needs to make this move on O'Brien nice and quick. And he will go down the inside here. Nicole Foggy, race 2 winner, and he's already up into the top 11, up 6 positions from his start. Although he hasn't got this one done yet, and judging from what we've seen today, yeah, overtakes aren't usually too simple around here. They're still side by side. This is brilliant battling from Brenton O'Brien. I don't think it's in his best interest to fight this one. And Foggy, I think, will be getting a little bit frustrated out there. They're still side by side. Should get a better run, should Foggy, but it's going to invite Sowicki back into the battle. And Sowicki is going to make it 3 wide now, going into turn 1. And still they're side by side. O'Brien, what brilliant defence this is. Round the outside still. They've been alongside for a lap now. Quite incredible. They're still going at it, and nearly rounded O'Brien. In the end, losing up 2 positions.
Yeah. And Klusterman is Klusterman, is a lap down. He's trying to basically unlap himself. He's got a mountain to climb, since he's got P12 in front of him, and he should lap all these 12 drivers in front of him, and then maybe he can start fighting for position, as Taljancic gains 1/10 of a second over Evdoka in this lap, but still not in striking distance. Evdoka looking good for the race victory, as Wormingham is defending from Cracknell and McNally at the same time, and Bogatayrev right in front of him. I can say one thing about Cracknell in his first meeting. He is not one to shy away from competition and hard driving, and I really like this driver. Again, not afraid to fight.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see him later on in the season. I think he could be a race winner later on in the season, no doubts about it. Michael Cracknell in that performance sim racing car, really driving well there. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great race 2 for him, though. He is up 4 positions from where he started. In fact, it was a good race 2, wasn't he? He finished like 5th or something, so take that back. So it could be a really good day for him. He could be the only driver, I think, to kind of score all top 6s. Clyde Whiting's out of the race.
Yeah, and Taljancic had a bad lap right now. He lost almost a second to Evdoka. And I tell you what, he needs to watch his back, because Jimmy McKnight is coming for him.
Yeah, McKnight really is closing in now. They've got Morgan just behind as well. This would be an awesome result for Victor if he can hang on to this one, although he does have Brandon just behind him. So, if Brandon is quick about this, he could maybe challenge for a podium later on. I think that's a little bit pushing it because I think Victor's had pretty good pace today, and that last lap Victor was 7/10 slower than Johnny Bay. In fact, only 4/10 slower, so not too bad for Victor. It'll be interesting to see if Brandon can make that move. Bogotayev is really under pressure from Warmingham. Warmingham's under pressure from Cracknell. Warmingham, who could have started the this race from the top position, potentially tried to get pole position, but kind of caught himself out by putting himself a lap down in the end. But he is now up 11 positions up into P7.
Yeah, good battle here. Bogotayev and Cracknell at the hairpin, with Cracknell having the inside for the next two corners, as Foggy also gets into the party, overtaking the 555 Ford of Bogotayev with Sawicki right behind them. So Foggy and Warmingham and Cracknell trying to gain those positions back. At the top of the pack is it's Evdoka once again gaining on Taliancic. McKnight losing a little bit, but they are all very, very close there. And Brandon is lapping almost 1 second faster than Morricone in 4th position. So Brandon could jump him as soon as, I think, the end of this lap or the beginning of the next one.
Yep. It's just about placing his car where he needs to. There's no interest in Victor fights in this one. And from what I've seen from Morricone, he's not going to fight this one too hard because he's a very respectful driver. I don't think he's been caught up in an incident in this meeting or the last, and he does let past Brandon nice and easy. Could still be a really good top 5 for Victor today, so that was very wise for him to let Brandon go and chase Michael Taliancic and Jamie McKnight off in the distance.
So Brandon lapped in the 52.6 as the same time as the guys in front of him, but he also had to make an overtake. And he was lapping in the I-51s in the previous lap, so we know he has the pace. We'll see if he will be able to catch McKnight. Could be a stretch, but not impossible. If he keeps lapping once again in the 51s, I think he will be able to make it.
Yeah, I think so. Lap 11 for these guys. About to move on to lap 12 will be Michael Evdoka out in the lead by 2.2 seconds, with Taliancic holding off McKnight currently. So Wiki's very close on Bogotayev, I can see. About a 10th or 2 between those two, and actually just behind as well is McNally and Attach.
That was Klusterman, I think.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he's in a tough predicament, because on one hand he wants to drive fast and to the top of his abilities, but on the other hand I think he doesn't want to ruin anybody else's race. I think he's aware of the fact that he's not going much further than his position right now. So you see, it's a situation that you hate when you know you are a fast driver with a fast car, because of course you are faster than these guys, but you are not running for position with them, and there's nothing to gain in a short race like this. Yeah, maybe couple of points here and there, but I don't know. His gap to Suarez, I don't know how much that is. Certainly not within striking distance, so he's got 17 seconds to the car in front. So yeah, you want to fight for every point and every spot, but I don't think is necessary from Tony to break up battles on the field. Of course, he's a racer and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what he needs to do to score points out here. Yeah, so I can't seem to find it, unfortunately. So, not sure what he needs to do to score any points up there. Because I think if he's not on the lead lap, he may not be eligible. So that could be a problem for him. Here's Foggy trying to go for a move currently on Cracknell, just ahead, and Cracknell should fight this one a bit because they are pretty similar on pace, and he's not going to give up easily. But Foggy, a much better line there. Cracknell's not going to give this one up. A slightly better run out of the corner for Cracknell, but Foggy makes it up easily, and he has only got a couple more cars they can realistically catch and overtake now. Croft and Warmingham up next.
Brandon is the fastest guy of the top 4 and by a great margin, almost 1 second faster than some of the guys in front of him, as we are, and that's the problem, already on lap 14 of 23, so not a lot of time left. Lap 15 starting right now. Evdoka 53.1, 52.9 Taljancic, 53.0 McKnight, and Brandon 52.3. So you see he's pretty quick out there.
Yeah, Brandon chasing down 2 drivers ahead. He's definitely going to catch by the end of this race. He's only 5.3 seconds off the leaders, Brandon. That's not going to be possible, I think, for him. It's going to be another lights to flag race victory. I think for the leading car out there, it would be the different race winner of the evening, which was pretty predictable. Brandon's not going to win a race seemingly today, but I don't think he'll care about that because he's going to have a handy advantage in the championship heading to Detroit in a fortnight's time. And after a poor start to the season last time, Marco, this is the complete opposite for Brandon. He's barely put a foot wrong so far. He's won a race already and got plenty of I don't think he's finished outside the top 5 so far this season. It's been really impressive.
Yeah, now dealing with the lapped car, he's having a great start, he's being consistent. We talked about consistency in the beginning of the broadcast. And I think he will get McKnight for sure, and maybe even Taljancic is much quicker than these 2 guys. Evdoka, a dream race for him, of course, and he needed that, because, like I said, he gambled in the previous race by biting the bullet and pitting for repairs that allowed him to finish in the back, so he gave up some valuable points, but he gained the pole position for this race. And the only way that exchange is, profitable for you is if you win the race. And that's what he's doing, and he's doing it in a very, very dominant way. Taljancic, McKnight, and Brandon are there. You see them in the back of your picture, but there won't be enough time for them to close the gap to Michael. So I think that Taljancic and McKnight will be more preoccupied with Brandon behind them than by Evdoka in front of them.
Yeah, certainly. This will be really good for Evdoka. And of course, he'll be looking to get the bonus 10 points as well for driving without an incident for the entire event. So he'll also be aiming for that. Here's Klosterman. So he's trying to get the move on Sawicki. Thing with Klosterman though is that he can think, oh, I want to, unlap myself, but he's not going to unlap himself. He is going to finish a lap down on the race leader, Michael Evdoka. I think he's still going to score some points. Samuel Buzin, slow, and that could be his race over.
He was trying to pass Ant Woodward at the hairpin. They made some contact.
Oh, he's just letting him pass, isn't he?
Yeah. Woodward going around, getting past the easier car, and back on the track.
Very generous there for himself. He also did an awesome camera pack, spotter guide for us. Certainly, I don't actually know where you can check that out, unfortunately, but it's really good. So I think it might be on the website, actually.
Yeah, it's on the official website,
yeah.
And it's done in the style of the guides made for the endurance races for the 24-hour of Le Mans and Daytona. I have the name of the author on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember. There's this guy does all these spotter guides for the big real life races. You can definitely check them out. They're very useful when you watch Daytona or Le Mans, and it's done in the same style, and it is amazing.
Yeah, it looks absolutely superb. I don't know how much work it took. It only took them about a week, I think. So, yeah, good credit to it. Out there, though, McKnight 3/10 ahead of Brandon now. So you can see that gap for yourself. Don't really need to say how much it was. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just about, can Johnny make this move? We've seen turn 2 an opportunity, but McKnight's been pretty good with his racecraft, I'd say, so far, Mark. I can't actually remember what happened to him in race 2, but race 1 he struggled a little bit for pace, so too in qualifying. Actually, race 2 had a quite troublesome race, didn't he? So needs to make sure that he doesn't make another mistake, and this would be his second podium of the season if he can possibly hang on to it.
Well, race 2, McKnight was looking for a top 5 finish, and then if you remember, he spun in this corner here and lost a bunch of position and then finished 13th. So even a 4th place would be good for him, because he knows he lost a lot of valuable points in the second race, and now, of course, Brandon is getting closer and closer and closer. Taljancic lapping still slower than these two guys, but we have only 3 laps to go, so it's looking good for him for a second position. Brandon needs to make the move on McKnight quickly, and you know McKnight is not an easy guy to pass. Let's see here at the hairpin.
McKnight's going to have the inside for this next one now. Trying to get the cut back maybe, or is he trying to go around the outside? It was a bit of a mixture and he's nearly lost it, has Brandon.
Same corner.
He tried to absolutely floor it on the exit.
That was the same corner where McKnight spun his car in race 2, and that's a very, very deceiving corner. You can spin your car even when you drive an MX-5 around there. It's so difficult to get your gas down. You can imagine how tough that is in a V8 supercar. So this pretty much gives Taljancic the second place, and the battle we will follow until the end is this one for the 3rd position.
It's astonishing how quick this race has gone. Race 1 and 2 went past very quick, but this race 3 in particular has just absolutely flown by. I don't know where the time's gone. Yeah, lap 22, absolutely astonishing. Brandon, not close enough this time, and O'Brien's had a bit of an incident. He's down into P13 now.
I think he had contact with McLeay. Let's see, Bokatayev in front of them. Oh,
No,
he lost his brakes.
himself.
Yeah. And then he hit Bokatayev, and that was the contact he had with McLeay, yeah. Basically, he locked the brakes and went wide, and it was an avoiding job for Bokatayev and McLeay. White flag is in the air. Final lap of the race for Michael Evdoka and all the other guys. The gamble paid off, Sam, in the end.
I think so, but it did lose him a lot of points potentially, that second race. And this hasn't really been the start of the season that he wanted, Michael Evdoka. Still, McLeay trying to get a move on Bogatayev here. Down the inside he goes. And I think he's just about made that one, but out in the lead is Michael Evdoka. He's only got a couple more corners to go. And here he comes, Michael Evdoka, Season 4 champion. And he's won race 3 of the evening here at Okayama. Not the start of the season he wanted whatsoever, but this has somewhat soothed the wound that has been this season. And his championship is well and truly back on track. Taljancic comfortably comes home in second. Warmingham lost out to Foggy in the final few corners. Warmingham seemed to be okay there, and let's see how it happened. It's a good move from Foggy, isn't it?
Yeah, his teammate is not putting much resistance as it should be. Is the final lap. Smart move by Warmingham and Foggy to basically let Foggy by, and this point could be crucial, and we can see Michael Evdoka is pretty happy about this win.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been frustrating for a while for Michael Evdoka. He hasn't had the best of luck in World GT. He hasn't won a race or two. Also hasn't had necessarily the results in the BSR Grand Tour either, and he hasn't really had the results in this series either, but somewhat a lot better for him in that race. He has taken his first race victory of the season ahead of Michael Taljancic in second, Joe McKnight in third, Johnny Benoit driving him from 16th to 4th, and he's really taken a stranglehold of the season even at this early stage. Victor Morgan, we didn't see too much of him out there, but really good from him. A top 5, only 11.5 seconds off the lead in the end, so really showing some good pace is Victor. Nicole Foggy ends up in 6th after starting in 17th. Richard Warren, good drive from him. Top of the club drivers, 18th to 7th. I think that's the most competitive I've seen him in a V8 Supercar before. Michael Cracknell ends up in 8th with Dominic Sawicki in 9th. George McClay in 10th with Nikolai Bogotayev 11th. Then Brenton O'Brien, Guy Croft, Lane O'Connor, and Roland Moons, who starts in 3rd, ends up in 15th after a troubled start. Michael Frost in 16th. Anthony Woodward 17th. Samuel Buzin in 18th. Dominic Story 19th. And it's Tony Kloosterman. What a damaging round this could be for his championship. Races 2 and 3 really not going his way. He ends up in 20th. Should still score some points, I believe. Clyde Whiting had an issue in 21st, and Adam McNally as well. Started on the front row of the grid, but ends up in 22nd position. Hopefully we will get some interviews with some of the drivers out there. And yeah, first up then Tony Kloosterman with us now. And Tony, a mixed day for you today, but that first race, we'll concentrate on the good to start off with. That first race, good qualifying lap, unlucky not to take pole position. You missed out by probably a 10,000th of a second, but the start was awesome, and from there you comfortably controlled the race.
Yeah, first race was good. George McClay put in an awesome time as well, obviously. And, the key to these races is to try and get out in front as quickly as possible and just try and maintain the lead. So it worked out well in the first race.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, now moving on to the not so good, the second race. Just take us through that first lap from your perspective. There's so much going on. Yeah, could you just take us through the incidents that you were involved in?
Well, the first or the second race, the incident there, everybody got into each other, and I just backed out to try and avoid everything, and someone else decided to drive right through me. So, it's unfortunate. I said it at the last meeting that it's too early in the season to be putting bumpers to guys, and I may have learned my lesson today.
Yeah, I think so. And we did see some really good gentleman driving from you though earlier on when you tapped around a driver. I can't remember who it was, and then just slowed down to let him pass. I think that was a really good kind of show of sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's Gary Croft, and I'm not even sure that I touched him. May have been net code, but I apologized and give him his spot back, and then we go back to racing, and that's how it should be done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a little bit more of that type of racing out there today. But then that third race, of course, do you know if you're going to score points for that third race, or do you have to be on the lead lap?
No, you'll still score points. I think 20th place or something. So it was, the car was pretty beat up. I think I only brought back the steering wheel at one point.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. But going into this round and actually going into race 2 today, you were leading the championship. It almost looked too good to be true, and then unfortunately kind of being wiped out in second and third races. If luck balances itself out, then you'll be pretty lucky to the end of the season, because you've lost quite a few points today, potentially to Johnny in particular. Does that concern you at all, or are you just disappointed with the result today?
Yeah, I'm just disappointed. It's a long season, and there's lots of races to win yet. So Johnny's going to have his handful for this season. He's not going to walk away with it quite that easily.
Yes, absolutely, and we know that you're going to certainly give him a run for his money. And we have got a few interviews to get through, I think. So, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
The sponsors of the league, KSW Painting for sponsoring the league, and D4 Pet Services for sponsoring this event. So it's nice to see some people jumping on board, and it makes the league stronger at the end of the day. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Next up, who are we going to get? Okay, so it was Nicole Foggy who won race 2, wasn't it?
I think so, and we can have him for the interview.
Yes.
That's the worst one I've seen.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, what's up?
Well, yeah, brilliant race 2 for you out there. You kind of just avoided everything that was going on. And did you have much of an idea of what was going on that opening lap because just drove into the distance?
I didn't know at the time. I had to look back after. I think I saw that it was Evdoka maybe threw it in a bit too much on the double right-hander next to, was it Michael in the black car? Or maybe it's not. Yeah.
It was Evdoka and someone else. I can't remember.
Yeah. So I was happy with that. I just got down that back straight and I was like, okay, they're all still at that corner there. So yeah, I was just happy. I just tried to keep it smooth because it was a really hot track at the time. Tried to keep it smooth, keep the tire temperatures as low as I could. And yeah, I've just come from, I'd come straight from my Spa 24-hour stint. So I had to come straight onto these and try and have a quick warm up before. But it went all right. So it seemed like it went quite well tonight anyway for me.
Yeah, definitely. And may I ask how you're doing in the 24 hours?
I don't know as of now, but we were in second place.
Oh, nice.
Fourth split, I think we're in. So it's all right. Well, we started in 58th because our quali lap didn't go through. So second place is all right. I think we might be in first now actually as well. So yeah, going well at the moment anyway.
Oh, fantastic. Good luck for that. But yeah, in that second race, did you actually get the bonus 10 points for getting no incidents?
I'm not sure because I got 0x I think, but I don't know if you get still get the bonus points if you make a bit of contact, but you get no.
I think that's okay. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, hopefully, and maybe in the last race as well. So tonight was a lot better than I thought it would go. Anyway, I think we'll see what the score says.
Yeah, definitely. And that qualifying for you just seem to struggle a little bit. And in race one as well, you kind of seem to be able to make your way back through the grid, but Silverstone you seem to struggle a little bit in qualifying, and so do you here. Do you think that's something that you maybe need to work on?
Yeah, I mean it takes me a while to get into these cars. I've not driven them that much, and especially I had 5 minutes of warm up from the GT3s, and then last 2 weeks ago it was GTE endurance just before it as well. So I think that maybe made a bit of a difference, but we'll see if I'm any faster. In 2 weeks' time, I don't think I'll have any races beforehand, so hopefully I can get some, proper practice in and see how I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that race 3 for you, how was that? Where did you finish? You just about got Richard right at the end. Not that it took easy of any team orders. Yeah, you just about managed to get that one, but yeah, just take us through that race 3 for you because it was pretty action-packed from your perspective.
Yeah, well, me and Johnny anyway, we started at the back, and then there was that crash. I think that was lap 1. I think that crash, wasn't it? The big one on the back straight. Yeah, I just took my time going through that because I've seen too many of those in the in the DSRTC and the WGTC. Just going too fast through that, and you think it's all over, and then something else happens straight after, and then you've not taken your time, and then that's the end of your race. So I just took my time, and then slowly started making up my places after that. And I had a good battle with Brenton. I think his name's Brenton. We were side by side for like a lap and a half or something. That was a great race with him and a few other people as well. Some good side by sides. So yeah, race 3 was probably the most fun actually.
Yeah, we managed to get that entire lap, I think, with Brenton. It was great to watch. And yeah, before we let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, just shout out to XBR. Great racing with them again. Always enjoy their company. So yeah, and thanks to you guys as well for the broadcast you do. I enjoy them every week. You do a really good job. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, or on Thursday, I guess, for the BSRTCs.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Next up, I think we'll have Johnny Brandon. Hi, Johnny. In the end, from a super sprint race, maybe you enter thinking, I'd quite like to win a race. You didn't win a race today. However, you have taken a lot of points today. I think you scored far more points than anyone else. You were the only driver who really got 3 consistent finishes. You must be really elated with that.
Hi guys, yeah, chuffed a bit. Got a bit lucky really. Had good pace, did get a good qualifying in, and second and third or fourth was it in the last one? Fourth. I couldn't quite get Jamie. He was a bit too smart for me. And yeah, I'll take that all day long. It's a great night. Enjoyed it. It was a bit messy out there, though, has to be said. But yeah, still enjoyed it immensely and chuffed to bits for those points.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there anything that you did which you think maybe allowed you to avoid the carnage that was going on in races 2 and 3, or like you said before, were you just lucky?
Well, race 3, race 1 and race 2, I was a bit lucky, really. I was trying to keep it clean, and there was just people squeezing and all over the bit. It was hard. What's great about this series is that we all leave each other room, you know, and it's great racing. There was a little bit not quite like that. I had my elbows out, to be fair, and race 3 I just calmed down and just I said to Foggy, funnily enough, look, I'm just going to take it easy. The first couple of laps, let the carnage happen in front, and I think that one I made up about 10 places, just everybody coming together, and somehow drove straight through the lot, got no incursions. I thought great stuff, and flying along, and then I picked up a stupid ×1. Just unbelievable through the chicane. Such a stupid one. Lost my bonus points. Apart from that, it was pretty much perfect that last race. So yeah, I did set out to do it, but I did get lucky because there was a big crash, and it just, the seas parted, and I just somehow made it through the middle. So it's a bit of both.
Yeah, we just saw that that replay of your race start, and yeah, you were like, I'd like to remember which religious figure it was who did that. But you were that person, and yeah, the seas really did part there, and of course, compared to last season, this is a great start to the championship for you. Do you think you've changed anything compared to last season, which has enabled you to, you know, get off to such a good start?
Not really. I think last season it's just luck, you know. Last season I just got tapped behind most of the races. The first 4 weeks I just got tapped from behind, and there was nothing I could have done. It was just unlucky, and it wasn't deliberate things. It was nothing bad. It was just racing. It's just how I mean, Tony's had a shocker race 2 and 3. Probably, I haven't seen it, but I would bet a lot of money on that it wasn't really his doing.
No,
you know, it happens sometimes, you know, and I've just been a bit lucky tonight. So I mean, I had good pace, to be fair, but I had a bit of luck as well, and that's what you need, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, only round 2 of 11, I believe it is, this season. So plenty of time for the luck to maybe even out ever so slightly. But yeah, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Just you guys, the usual people, all the organisers of the series. I think there's a sponsor for the series. I think it's a D4 Pet Services, is it? Thanks to them, and yeah, thanks to all my teammates and everyone else for making it a great championship. And yeah, can't wait till the next one.
Absolutely. Thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, guys.
So I think our last interview of the night will be Jamie McKnight, who had quite an eventful race out there. But Jamie, well done out there for that P3 in the final race. You kind of got a good start, put your head down, and avoided any incidents. Couldn't quite pressure Michael or the two Michaels ahead, but kept behind Johnny really well in those closing stages.
Yeah, thanks guys. I really needed that third race because I'd had an awful bad run in the first two races, just with being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I just couldn't do anything about it. Really frustrating. But that last race, I knew Johnny was a little bit quicker, and yeah, the way we raced each other the last 5 laps gave each other heaps of room, and it was very respectful. And always, you know, Johnny's always like that, and I know I can race him. And yeah, it really cheered me up. I've got to say, I really needed it. Wouldn't have mattered if I got 4th or 3rd. I just really needed that battle where it was nice and clean and good hard racing.
Yeah, it certainly was. And that race 2, I think you were involved in a couple of the incidents on the opening lap, and then unfortunately had a little bit of a spin later on in that race as well. Were you a bit frustrated with that?
Yeah, I didn't have a spin. Chris Jackson sent me. This is what happened.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I had damage on the front left. You probably saw after the first or second corner incident when I came around that corner and everybody was just across the track, and that was killing me for top speed. So every time I'd get past someone and go down the straight, they'd be right on me going turn 1, and I'd have to try and hold them off. But look, we all have races where we're, you know, involved in things we can't help, and yeah, I was frustrated for sure, but you know, what goes around comes around, and I think overall everybody did pretty well, and it was a very hot track that second race. Okayama's always hot, 46 degrees I think it was, so I think given all those circumstances, it wasn't too bad, and I'm happy with the overall race weekend, and looking forward to next round.
Yeah, definitely. And we haven't really talked about the next round, but I believe it's Belle Isle, which...
Belle Isle, yep.
Yep, and I don't really have to say anything about it. It's going to be pretty chaotic, I imagine, if this wasn't.
Yeah, it's a bit wider than this track, and it should be a bit cooler, but you know, I've done a fair few laps and practice around there, and it's actually, if you can get yourself in a nice rhythm there, it's not too bad. It's going to be, if somebody blocks the track, that it's going to be a big problem, but we'll just see how it goes. I've just got to start to qualify better. That's what kills me, so I've just got to work on my qualifying and, you know, drop some fuel and try and get good at a one-lap pace, because I tend to qualify on my normal race set, and it's not working.
Yeah, that would certainly help you out there. But that's your second podium of the season, second podium out of 5 races, I think. So, you know, is the next aim maybe the race victory, or is it just about picking up consistent points still?
No, I'm definitely going to have a victory this season. There's a couple of tracks coming up that I think I might have a good chance at too. I'm one of those drivers that, if I'm comfortable in the rhythm, I'm really quick, and if I'm not, I'm always, you know, fighting the car and sort of getting a bit frustrated. So I've had a couple of tracks in a row I don't like so much, and the next couple I'm pretty confident I can. Yeah, it's hard to beat guys like Johnny and Michael Evdoka and even Taliancic, and you know, they're all quick, and Tony Klusterman particularly. But you know, when we get to a track that's right, I'm going to put in a big effort and see if I can pull off a victory, because I need to have one. I think it's time, boys.
Yeah, I think it certainly is. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Oh yeah, I'd love to thank my new team, Evolution Racing Team. They've welcomed me with open arms and just made me feel really welcome. And obviously Joel Real Timing and Logitech for their sponsorship. And I'd like to thank all the guys sitting right here with me at Apex Racing for a wonderful broadcast and giving up your time to do it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. It was great fun to watch, and yeah, good luck in the next round, Jamie.
Thanks, boys. Catch you later.
So, Marco, an awesome round 2 of the season. If Silverstone wasn't good, which it was, but that was pretty amazing. The first laps on race 2 and 3 in particular were absolute chaos, and hopefully we don't see too much more racing like that, but you know, one round like that is always good entertainment.
Yes, absolutely, and I think we will have more of the same in Detroit. It's a new track for everybody, and those narrow walls close to the racing line, the bumps, will provide for amazing entertainment. Can't wait for the next round in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, and that will be at Belle Isle in 2 weeks' time, when this series returns for round 3 of the season. Coming up tomorrow will be the BSR Grand Tour, and then on Monday, I don't think we've got World GT unfortunately, but Tuesday we'll have the BSR MX-5s and the Bitcoin Tech Sports Car Series. Wednesday we'll have the iRacing Le Mans Series. Thursday the BSR TC. And then on Saturday, I think we haven't really got much. And then on the Sunday, it'll be back to the BSR GT once again. But for now, from me, from Marco, and from Sam, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.